getting back real quickly to this, to the Electoral College and why it is crucial. And the reason why I'm harping on this is because obviously there are a lot of news stories at play, and this is a talk show, so we're not going to neglect any of the big news stories. But what I want you to keep in mind, because this is going to be a fight, and the fight just began, all right? The bell just rang, all right? So we get to get into this boxing match, this jiu-jitsu match, this wrestling match, as my buddy Christopher Hart would say, but we haven't won anything yet. Part of winning, for those of us that love America, is to conserve, that's why I'm a conservative, our Judeo-Christian values, our system, including the Constitution and our Bill of Rights, and what's encompassed within that Constitution and our Bill of Rights. The Electoral College is absolutely brilliant, and the left knows it, and that's why they want to destroy it. Nobody wants to vote for a party that does not believe in the rule of law, that wants to kill babies after birth, that believes in censorship, that believes that you should work 3, 4, 5, in some cases, depending on how much money you make, 6 months out of the year for the government before you can feed your own family. Nobody wants to vote for a party that's willing to let in Tren de Aragua across our borders. No one wants to vote for a party that believes in a woke military that's not an elite fighting force where we have to sit and wonder what the hell is going on our East Coast, and now even in states like California when it comes to these drones. And we now have, and check out my social media at the Carl Jackson Show. X, Instagram, and Facebook primarily is where you can find me, the Carl Jackson Show, on all things, or if you want to subscribe to my podcast. But nobody wants to sit and have to worry about what are these mysterious drones doing in the sky. And you still have a White House that has no answers for me, which tells me we know the answer. They know what's going on. Why shouldn't we be energy independent? Why should we cede our energy independence to a country like Russia that's selling fuel to both China and our allies in Europe? Why should we do that? What sense does that make? We're going to save the planet because we don't drill, but we cede that ability to Russia? Does that make sense whatsoever? No, it doesn't make sense. The left is a fraud, and they know it. And that's why the Electoral College is so important. Some of you, it's amazing to me. I was thinking about this when I was in New York City over the weekend. And I sat there and I thought about, some of these smaller states that are absolutely, amazing, or these Midwestern states. I have family in Ohio. I visit Ohio sometimes. Whenever I go, I love it. It's not a place that I would choose to live, frankly, but whenever I go, I love it. I love the difference. I live in Florida. I love living in Florida. I didn't always, because I was used to California, and I love the atmosphere of California. But one of the things that's so cool about the Electoral College, beyond the fact that it breaks down, or it doesn't allow for the tyranny of the majority, so that states like California and New York and Florida and Texas won't decide, is I just love the uniqueness of states. And you can keep that uniqueness of each state alive with the Electoral College. Why do you stop and think about this? Have you ever thought about this when it comes to the Electoral College? Have you ever wondered why is it that every single one of you, I mean, literally, every single one of these blue cities are in disarray? Why? Just stop and think about it. See, that's what the Democrat Party, that's what the left doesn't want you to do. Just stop and think about it. These cities are in disarray, not just because Democrats run them, but because Democrats have a cookie cutter style of governance. They really don't care about the voter. They care about implementing and imposing their ideology. And we'll get to birthright citizenship soon, because that's what they're trying to do with that as well. But I liked, when I went to New York City, I was like, wow, not my cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? But I enjoyed being there for the period of time that I was there. You guys heard me yesterday. I shared the things that I didn't like, and the things that I thought that they could improve, and the things that I thought were just totally cool when I went there. But I love the uniqueness of states. You go from blue city to blue city and blue city, and they're all failing. They're all failing because they're all cookie cutter. They don't take advantage of the people. And when I say take advantage, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean take advantage of the entrepreneurship, of the creativity, of the uniqueness of the people that live in their states, of the uniqueness of the resources, the minerals, or whatever their states may provide. California is one of the most mineral-rich states in the entire United States, if not the most. Maybe next to Texas, maybe more than Texas. I forget, to be frank. But you have a governor and you have a state legislature that doesn't take advantage of the resources, and they're virtue signaling, oh, we want green energy, we want green energy. Meanwhile, if you're running these electric vehicles, they actually do more damage to the planet than do fossil fuel vehicles. Plus, you transport a lot of stuff from China who doesn't give a flip about your green energy policies, so you're total hypocrites. But Gavin Newsom knows that. He knows that. And so do your Democrat legislature. They know that. They know that it's all a scam, but if they can keep you fearful, they can control you. So that's another reason that I love the Electoral College, because if you choose to vote for stupid people, I don't want to be impacted by your stupid vote. I love the uniqueness of each state. I have a buddy that moved to Idaho from California. He loves it. He loves it. And I was like, Idaho? I never pictured him in Idaho. He loves it. I'd love to visit now. I went to Nevada one time years ago. Went to Vegas. I was like, this is different. That's the uniqueness of the Electoral College. I don't want to travel to Idaho and experience New York. And that's what we got to preserve. That's what we want to preserve. Tradition, states' rights, an equal say. Make sure that each state has an equal say in national elections. All right. And we want to be protected from the tyranny of the majority. Can you imagine each state, every state operating like California and New York? Then the whole United States would be a complete and utter disaster, and no one would have a better place to move to. There's a reason why people flock to places like Florida and Texas and Georgia and totally abandoned places like California and New York during the COVID lockdowns. It's because of the Electoral College. It's because each state is its own laboratory. And so they found a safe haven to go. Because we had that Electoral College, because we have that, they found a state that had its own set of rules and values and independence. And because of that, many of you that fled California, that fled New York, you were able to experience or continue to experience the freedoms and the blessings that America has given us. So don't screw it up. Even if you're a Democrat, listen to me, don't screw it up. When your moronic senator tells you that it's time to abolish the Electoral College, maybe it's time to abolish their place in Congress. I want you to think about that, because the only thing that they have in mind is their political power and not your political empowerment.